Beating the odds, week 14, 13-1 last week. Last 5 weeks, we are 52-20. That is a streak. We are going streaking.
We're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody!
For those of you new to the show, they are all against the spread, and prop bets have to be minus 120 or better odds, so no minus 150s. Also, the season standings are Mike Story 26-12-1, Sean Gocher 26-12-1, I am 22-17, and Joe Holokovsky 19-21. I will add that he started out 5-16, so he is really making a comeback here. Got 12 bets coming your way. Let's hit the phones.
Hey, Rob, this is Mike Story from Sports Betting Intel. Happy Saturday, buddy. It was a good week last week, a great week last week. We have been on a tremendous heater. Let's keep it going this week. I got 3 picks for you today on Draftkings. Let's start with the over in the Colts-Bengals game, over 44 in the Colts-Bengals game. This one is interesting because you've got a pretty good offense in the Colts. Indianapolis is 8th in points scored. And they actually do pretty well on the road, believe it or not. And then the defense, this is really where it really kicks me. The defense for Cincinnati is very bad this year. They're allowing the most yards in the league this year, just under 390 per game. And then the rushing defense allows 135 yards on the ground. We know Zach Moss is not Jonathan Taylor. We know Gardner Minshew is not Anthony Richardson, but they are serviceable backups who are getting the job done. When you pair this good offense for the Colts and this very porous defense from the Cincinnati Bengals, this screams over to me. So over 43.5 in the Colts-Bengals game. The next is, we're going back to our guy, Justin Fields, over 10.5 rushing attempts for Justin Fields at minus 115. This one's interesting. He's done this in the last 4 out of 7 games, and he had 12 designed rushes against the Lions when they played a couple weeks ago. 12 designed rushes. So I don't think we're going to see that, but we're also not going to see the barrage of short and intermediate passes that we saw against Minnesota last week. That was because the Vikings were blitzing quite a bit. The Detroit blitzes at about a league average rate, but they do generate some pressure. And when Justin Fields is under pressure, he scrambles at twice the league average. So I expect that he's going to be pulling the ball down, scrambling quite a bit. So over 10.5 rush attempts, minus 115 for Justin Fields. And then finally, I've got Foye Oluokun over 10.5 tackles plus assists on DraftKings at minus 115. So Foye Oluokun is with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's done this in 7 out of 12 games this year, including 5 out of 6 versus teams in the bottom third of tackles allowed per game. Cleveland, believe it or not, allows the most tackles per game. So over 10.5 tackles plus assists for Foye Oluokun in the Jaguars-Browns game. That's it for me. Hopefully we get another great week this week. We are on a tremendous heater, like I said. Let's keep it going. Let's make some money.
Moving over to Sean Gocher. You can find him on Twitter at CrushTheBook.
Hello, hope everyone's having a great weekend. A little tied up here, so I'm just going to give out 3 winners and skip the analysis here and keep the streak going. Going to start with the Baltimore Ravens -7, minus 120. Next, I'm going to go with the Colts +2, minus 108 on DraftKings. And we'll go ahead and close it out on the Raiders +3, minus 108 on DraftKings. I'm sorry, minus 118. Raiders +3, minus 118. We're going to roll those 3, have another sweep. See you next week.
Okie dokie. Moving over to my bats. Got 3 props for you. First prop, it's a make-or-break game for this team. Don't know if they're going to win, but I know this man's going to show up. It's Patrick Mahomes, over 273.5 passing yards. Isaiah Pacheco's rolled out. They're starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the pipsqueak. He's going to be chucking at this game. I was tempted to go with his pass attempts, but I feel like he's going to throw over 300 in this game against the Bills. Next prop, another depreciated asset. This guy's been really struggling. Drake London, good matchup here against the Bucs. They have a good run defense. His total receiving yard prop is 46.5. I like him to go over. I see him getting this in the first half. Last prop I have is also in the Chiefs-Bills game. It is Dalton Kincaid, over 37.5 receiving yards. I know Dawson Knox is coming back this week off IR. I feel like he only hurts Kincaid in the red zone. 37.5 is a low number. It's going to be a shootout. At least 50 yards in this game. 37.5 is a gift. Let's see what Joe has to say.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is time to beat the odds once again. Hopefully, you've been placing these wagers that we're giving you. We have been on absolute fire. I went 4-0 last week. The second half of the year has been incredible, making a comeback. I got 2 picks for us this week. I did 4 last week, so I'm going to even that out. We're going to start off with over 80.5 rush yards for CMC. My boy, Christian McCaffrey, let's go. Right now it's minus 120 out there on Draftkings. I would gobble that up if possible. They played Seattle a couple weeks back. Christian McCaffrey definitely went over that total. I don't see any reason why he can't do it again at home. Let's go. Pick number 2 is going to be over 273.5 passing yards for Patrick Mahomes. It really pains me to do this. I despise Kansas City. I am not a Patrick Mahomes fan. I do think he has unbelievable talent. I'm just not a fan. I saw that Pacheco was out for Kansas City. That's their main running back. I think it's going to force them to throw a little bit more, although the Kansas City wide receiver core is a little weak this year. They've been dropping a lot of passes. I know there's some frustration there. I think they're going to get it right. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a good game at home versus the Buffalo Bills. Over 273 total pass yards. Let's get it. Let's beat the odds. Let's go.
Thank you, Joe, our number one hype man. 11 bets this week. I'm calling 9-2. Let's make some money and let's keep on beating the odds.
We're beating the odds. We were beating the odds.